Hi guys, this is Courtney and I am here to talk to you today about what to do when you're in financial distress. Now, this could be when you are in debt or you just don't have a lot of money you don't have enough money to get by every month. And what I see a lot with people is there is a lot of making excuses. And, well, I need this or I need that. But the truth is, if you are working and you're working 40 hours a week, unless there is some factor like really exorbitant living expenses where you are, there are always things that can be done to change your lifestyle. So we're going to talk about some of those things. First of all, let's say you're in financial distress. I'm specifically going to address like you have a commitment like school or children, so you're not able to work full-time, or you are able to work full-time, but maybe you're a seasonal worker or weather dependent. Let's talk about what you can do, because this has come up a lot in my life with my older children right now and with some other people I've been seeing. The first thing you can do, a lot of people think of, what are the big things I can save money on? And sometimes that is a factor, like your rent or house payment. Sometimes if you have the ability to move to something cheaper, that's definitely an option, but that's not always really easy. The second thing is, do you have an expensive car payment? A lot of people are upside down in their cars, or they have old cars that need repairs. If you are able to sell your car and get something cheaper, now that may not apply to you, but make sure that you are setting aside some money to maintain your car if you're driving an older car, because car repairs can get very expensive. Do you have something that you are making payments on or that you could sell that is costly, like a boat or a jet ski? Or did you buy an expensive stereo or couch that you have payments on? Can you return those things or somehow figure out a way to sell them and get rid of that payment? For instance, I've never purchased furniture on credit, but I know people who do that. And I don't know what the terms are of that, but if you could let it go back and buy a couch on Craigslist or on a flea market, or if you could sell something and buy something cheaper, that is one option. I even have had friends that just do without for a little bit. Insurance and utilities are other big things. On insurance, you can call around and price shop on your insurance. Sometimes you can take a driver's education course, and that will knock a couple of points off. Things like bundling your insurance, homeowner's insurance, car payments together. If you are a safe driver, you can often get, but call and just say, what discounts do you have that I can get, and call and compare. It can take about a couple of hours to get all of that done, but that can be a huge savings on cost. I recently saved us over $100 a month by doing that. Now, granted, we are paying for 3 kids' car insurance, and we have 3 vehicles because we have a work truck and a car, and then I have a car. But bundling can save a ton of money, and just comparison shopping, it really makes a difference. Most of the time, though, those big things are something you can save on here and there. It's not always as easy, but there are little things every day you can save on. If you are in financial distress, the first thing you want to do is stop all discretionary spending. And what do I mean by that? Now, you've got to know this is not a forever thing, and I'm not saying that you should never have any fun money, but immediately until you get an emergency funds charged up, don't charge it until you get an emergency funds fixed up. If you're single, $500. If you're a couple, probably $1,000. You want to stop all excessive spending. That means unless it's food, shelter, your utilities, and gas, and we're going to talk about that too, that you need to stop all spending. Don't go shopping. Don't go to the Dollar General and fill up your cart with crap you don't need. Don't even go to Goodwill or garage sales. Stop all spending that is not necessary to you staying alive and getting to work. So what you can do is, after you've done that on your food bill, the best way I can tell you to do this, and I've been on this journey since I was a teenager. I've been on my own since I was 17, so 30 years on my own. And I was raised by primarily Depression-era grandparents, so I was very fortunate that they modeled a lot of this for me. The first thing you can do is meal plan. So if that seems really laborious, it's not. You just write down what you're going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the easiest way to do it is plan 3 or 4 dinners a night that you can pack up. We call it meal prep now. We used to call it leftovers. So let's say last night I made spaghetti. I would pack up spaghetti. I could have that for lunch or dinner the next night. And you do that 3 times, and the next day you have leftovers, and then maybe you eat something simple like eggs and toast or a sandwich. But meal planning, knowing what you're going to do for the week, saves a ton of money, because then you don't have to think about it during the week when you're hungry and tired. Having groceries, I bought a week's worth of groceries last night for $85, no coupons, 90% of it was organic. I could have spent about $55 if I had just gone with the generic brands. Food is a huge money suck. And if you are spending more than $100 a week for 2 people, you can definitely cut back. And again, it's only for a while. You can always decide a little bit of extra when you get yourself caught up. So the other thing is gas and driving. I know a lot of people who drive around unnecessarily, and that costs money. We don't think about it because we put the gas in our tank and we just go, and there's not that correlation with money driving. But like, even for me, we don't really have to budget so much anymore. I mean, we do, but we don't have any debt. We've got our savings and all of that. I mean, we're on baby step 6. We're paying off our mortgage. But I still, living like this for 30 years, I can't not live like that, because it just seems like I'm throwing money away. It seems so wasteful. So on gas, for instance, if I know that I have to work in a certain town and I travel a lot for work, I plan my activities around that. So let's say I need to go to Target and I'm working in Benton on Monday. There's a Target in Benton. Then I'm going to plan to go to Target when I'm working near Target. I'm not going to just go on a random day. I'm also not going to go in there without a list, and I'm going to prepare myself mentally. I'm not going to go in there hungry, tired, lonely, or sad, because you're more apt to buy things. I'm going to go do those things and specifically only shop when I have to buy something that I need, and I'm planning my driving around it. So another thing, for instance, was today I am on a 3-hour lunch break, or a 2.5-hour lunch break. I live 30 minutes from work. It is a trek, but I did realize me having a 3-hour lunch break, even though I was staying in town, I was driving around, I was making dates to go have lunch with people I hadn't seen, which is fine once in a while. I was going to the resale shop. I can't grocery shop because the groceries get too much in my car. It just wasn't making sense financially for the little bit of gas savings and wear and tear on my car. So I've been coming home for lunch, using this time to catch up on work. And financially, it just made sense in the end. So bundle your driving. Think about what you're doing before you leave. The other thing was, let's see, I don't know what that was. Yeah, driving and discretionary and food. Okay, so like books and clothes and things like that, you can do without clothes. But if you need something, Goodwill, resale shops, that is absolutely where you need to go. Most of us have enough clothes to get through for a temporary time, and you don't really need new clothes very often. And you definitely don't need expensive clothes. Resale shops usually have really high-end clothing for cheap. I know it's a little harder for men, but it can be done. And so I would just discourage you from check out minimalism if you want to know more about living with less. Then I'm going to tell you one of the main key factors that keeps people successful is their mindset and their perspective. We live a frugal life, but we have a nice home, we have a 40-acre ranch, we have a boat, we have a barn, we can go on vacations and all that, but we got here because we lived like this, and we continue to live like that, so we put our money into the big things. Now, we have a couple of kids in college right now. It's very expensive, even though we don't pay all of their tuition, just helping them as they need it and helping pay their car insurance and their health insurance and all that is a lot. So that takes a little bit of our extra discretionary income right now. but we just live frugally so we can do the important things that are important to us. I don't feel deprived at all. This shirt I have on, I've had for probably 4 years. The same thing with my pants, 4 or 5 years. You know, most of what I wear I've owned for a while. I don't have a huge wardrobe. Yeah, everything in my house, I mean, 90% of it is hand-me-down or used, painted furniture, things like that. I have a really cute little house. So, you know, it's just a matter of choices. And I look at things like, if I want to go to the movies, Tuesday night is free movie night or $5 movie night, and popcorn and Cokes are like $1, which I normally wouldn't even get if I was on a budget, but I might get a Coke Zero and a popcorn because I can do that for next to nothing on Tuesday nights. I also barter with people all the time for things I like to do. So if you have a business or a service you can barter, that's another great way to save money. I have a very full and wonderful life. So if there are things you like to do, think about, what do I like to do and how can I do this for cheap or free? Libraries offer classes. There are lots of free classes out there. There are parks, trails, places to go and things to do that don't cost a dime. Just find those things to do. You can look online at like meetups and find people with common interest, and I don't believe it costs anything. So I hope those are helpful. Get those emergency funds and then get on a budget and have your goals and study up on debt-free living, and your life will be so much better in a short time. Thank you.